reason why democracy is more subvertible than any type of leadership principle system. One would think this would be elementary, but I speak of it to remind people. When legitimacy is perceived as coming from a diffused source, a huge pool, ideally in democracy, the masses, right? It becomes so much easier to enter, to corrupt. The barriers to entry are just fewer and less permeable. Bad kings or good kings can get subverted either way by a court conspiracy, right? But the pool is smaller. The scrutiny is greater. If the king thinks you're plotting, you just might very well be plotting. If the people closest to the king think you're plotting, you might actually be plotting. If it's just paranoia, it doesn't have the same ability to run wild in a society and increase fucking mass hysteria the way that it does in a democracy. And these things can be handled maybe messily, but a lot more quietly. And with a greater degree of regularity. So I guess that's about as succinct as I can put it. Now with dictatorship, with like a popular dictatorship, the rules of the game are a little bit different. There, the impersonal value of the state must be upheld. But just as with any monarchy, the leader is only as good as what he represents, what he incarnates, what meaning he has for that people. Not so much insofar as he does what he likes, but the ability to see past the whims or passions of the moment, the ability to ensure what's right, what's best in the long term for the people. The people is not identifiable with the masses. The people is the best elements of the masses. That's kind of the difference, isn't it? So when I hear boomers and other conservatives sometimes talking about, well, the United States is not a democracy, it's a republic. A republic. Well, a republic is still a democratic form of government. It is. Okay. I'm not saying that's wrong, per se. There are examples of republics, like Rome, that have a pretty long lifespan. But I think people have to... we gotta step back a little bit and appreciate just how historically rare such examples are in world history. Every government is a system of authority. And regardless of pretense, or what we would like to believe is true, the buck always stops with somebody. And within that authority is contained a certain logic as to the dynamics of it, how it must unfold, what are the tolerances for this machinery, Has anyone here been a fucking production engineer? You know, I haven't, right? I'm a failed intellectual, I'm a dropout, I'm a burnout, I'm a loser. But I do know that politics is more than just a technique, it's an art form. Because it has more to do with... there's the hearts and minds aspect, and there's also the purely technical aspect, you could say, of governing, and governing well. And democracy has just built-in flaws when it comes to either aspect. Hearts and minds, well, democracy has made that its vaunted strength for a long time. But I don't really see that as so. I mean, convincing hundreds of retards does not make you more right than someone who has convinced just a few much wiser men. Or dumb men who at least have character, who at least have nads, who have the ability to say no to themselves when avarice or lust or other things are waved in front of their faces. There's a difference. What system encourages more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff? You need more smart people in a democracy. And democracy doesn't care about their character. The demands of democracy as a system require more smart people to be smart more of the time, and it doesn't give a shit about their inner character, their conduct, what their contributions are, how much skin they have in the game, what's their investment in this, you know? And this is why I think any form of government based on the leadership principle, the open, avowed, honest, authoritarian principle, right, is better. Exercises of authority in this way are natural. Is there any man out there right now, I'm single, I don't have any kids, but is there any man out there who is a father, who has a good functioning family, that does not think he has had to learn a certain tact of command, a certain daily proving and reconfirming of his legitimacy, of his sovereignty, right? In any sense, a father is king of his household, is he not? Right? If he gets too sloppy, his kingdom will fall to misrule or a too easy usurpation. So, what I'm saying is, the life of a nation, the life of an extended family, the life of a people that is joined to its government, that isn't, you could kind of compare the old style of absolute monarchy to a kid that's raised in a boarding school. Sure, he knows he has a father, but he doesn't have the direct personal contact, does he? He may become just as bad as any kid raised in the ghetto without a father. My father was a pretty good man. He really was. He could be a very hard man, but he was a basically good man. He was a Christian man, a fanatically Christian man. But because he was either working all the time or, going off on his prophetic tangents or whatever, he didn't have a whole lot of time for, that woman and those kids. And I think it affected, the one great advantage of, that is that, well, I suppose if you want your sons to be real fucking, real fucking kind of like semi-sociopathic go-getters and strivers, then I suppose it will engender in them a great deal of competitiveness and ambition. But, I don't know. I think there's something to be said for a somewhat closer family circle with a bit more warmth. And in the life of a nation, too, I would say. And this is why I like leaders like Duce or unser uncle. Because I think that they really struck the right balance. I think the monarchs of old, even in the modern age, guys like Wilhelm or I don't know, King Louis Philippe in France, the bourgeois king, the good house husband, right? Even there, I think those guys had kind of lost the plot a little bit. They got hung up on externals, what others thought, an ideal king should be. People around them, either one way or the other. Because I know for a fact that Bill II was not some kind of, what he's portrayed to be, some kind of super alpha fucking Teutonic warlord or whatever. The poor guy was like a sheltered kid. He didn't have any media advisors out there guiding him, holding his hand. That's why so many times he ended up looking stupid. And someone like Louis Philippe, well, he certainly was a popular monarch, right? In the sense that there were many among the middle classes, or even some of the working classes, who could identify a little bit with him as a man, but always more as a man than a king. Of course, that is not within most common people's ability to do so. At the same time, you could say that the attractive power of monarchy was just lost, irreparably damaged by its own hand. Kind of compare it to cirrhosis or something. I don't know. I'm done making analogies. I hope this has been a good video. I hope it's been an informative video. I got the fucking hiccups now because I'm nervous. No, I have not been drinking. Just a nice evening. I like to go out for strolls. So, I don't know. Have fun, folks. Bye-bye.